Good afternoon, everybody. It is August 6th, and good afternoon. It's Rod with POW Group, and just wanted to say thanks for tuning in for today's episode. If you're interested in starting your own pursuit of wealth, subscribe to the channel. If you like the content, check out powgroup.ca or pursuitofwealthgroup.com and find out how to get started on your pursuit of wealth today. And we're an online trading community. We have a 7-day free trial available and a $4.99 monthly subscription. So diving into the charts, today's going to be a quick review of the overall markets and where I think we're headed short term and long term. Today's video is going to be a little bit shorter as I do have another appointment to run to, and we have about 20 minutes left in the trading day. So as you can see, SPY here is finishing strong. The volume looks massive, but if we actually zoom out to the day, we've been dropping off consecutively now for about 5 days. So all of this week we've been trending higher. As the title of the video suggests, we're less than 2% away from all-time highs, which is the 339.08 level. So this has been a historic run from the lows. Absolutely nobody would have predicted this was going to happen, but here we are. So diving into SPY a little bit here. So as you can see, we're seeing a little bit of profit taking into the end of the day. Like I said, 2% from all-time highs. So we're basically going back to what I said the other day. So I've been watching the RSI downtrend line and the bearish divergence there. So as you can see today, we're finally testing that line. We're right on that line now. And as soon as we touched that line, we started to pull back a little bit here from the high of the day, which was 334.45. And now we're pulling back a little bit. There was an MOC for a buy at the end of the day as well. I think it was 400 million, just absolutely incredible. So as we'll see, as time goes on, we'll see if there's more profit taking, but like I said, there's only 20 minutes left in the day. We'll have to see how the bulls close. So moving on from that, we do have China and US trade deals, which are to resume in mid-August. So short term, I could see SPY going to all-time highs, potentially, 340, 345, it could overshoot a little bit. Stocks tend to overshoot a target and then start to sell off. So I wouldn't be surprised if we test the all-time high and actually poke above, and then we see a significant pullback and correction in the markets. One thing to note as well, again, is the technology sector is absolutely on fire, but overextended, monthly oversold, overbought, weekly overbought, daily overbought. SPY, we're getting into overbought territory now on most time frames. We're overbought on the hourly, we're overbought on the 4-hour, we're overbought on the daily. Weekly and monthly are still not overbought, but as I said earlier, we're still hugging that downtrend resistance line. So if we can close the month above that line, I'll start to change my tune a little bit, but I'm definitely leaning bearish here in the short term. And a lot of friends that I know are still buying stocks at these levels, especially tech stocks. Now, I don't think buying tech stocks is necessarily a bad strategy or a bad idea, but you definitely want to be wary of, what you're getting yourself into here, what you're buying, what the price to earning ratio is in these stocks. Are they, have they consolidated in a meaningful way? So just to pull up Apple here. Apple finally consolidated on the weekly whenever they released that investigation was being, when they had that investigation probe. There hasn't really been any further development on that. So we did see a weekly higher low. So we do have a support level here on the weekly of 356.58 that we can watch. But I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if we pull back beyond that. And if we look at the monthly, I mean, it's just been a straight rocket ship. We don't have any support on the monthly down until 212. So it's absolutely dangerous, in my opinion, to be going long a stock right now. I'm personally on the sidelines, mostly in cash. I've been starting to accumulate a long-term short position on SPY. just based on the fact of how extended we are. We're starting to see, we had the antitrust hearing for big tech. So another short-term catalyst that I could see is that China trade deal tension talks and phase one deal talks that is going to occur mid-August. We also had the antitrust probe into the big tech companies. So Amazon definitely got the brunt of, the grilling on that in that session. So I would expect Amazon. We also saw that Jeff Bezos sold $3 billion worth of stock 2 days ago on August 4th. Now that was pre-scheduled, so we knew a little bit about that ahead of time. Most people didn't, but we can assume that that's likely priced in at this point. So moving on from here, another thing that I wanted to mention is that it's going to, this whole impact of COVID and the economy and these big tech names that are running to all-time highs and blue sky territory, it's going to have a detrimental, in my opinion. Again, not financial advice, this is my own opinion. All investments have risks, do your own research, but I do think that small business is going to come out hurt the most out of all of this. If you look at big tech, like I personally, I'm trying not to shop at Amazon, I'm trying not to shop at Walmart, I'm trying to support local. And it's just, I know so many people that have small businesses that are just getting destroyed. And if you look at Amazon and Apple's charging 30% just to, put your app in their app store, which is absolutely crazy. And they have such a monopoly on the market, and so many small businesses, they say that there's a study done that if you're not on Amazon, if you're not on the App Store, you're basically left behind. So they have such a huge monopoly and charging 30% on revenue. So if you have an app that's charging $100, Apple's going to take 30% of that. So then we're left with 70%. So after your margins and your marketing and all those other expenses and overhead and business expenses, it's going to really eat into their profits. So I think that we're going to see some huge changes in the technology sector coming into the third and fourth quarter. And we also have the elections coming up. So this could ramp, to all-time high and beyond. But I'm personally thinking that into the election, we're going to see the market cool off a bit. There's also the worry of COVID cases continuing to rise and a potential second shutdown in the economy. I personally don't think that's going to happen, but I'm not ruling anything out at this point. I also am watching Bitcoin. So if the stimulus bill, which doesn't look like it's going to get passed tomorrow on Friday, August 7th. So that was the deadline that they have, but it doesn't look like they're going to be passing it anytime soon. It's likely going to get delayed till next week. So Trump has already hinted at the fact that he was going to use executive orders to circumvent that. And he is on board with the unemployment, the $600, and he wants to see the eviction ban so that we don't see a huge housing crisis. And that's another thing that I think that is going to really shake the market when it does happen. Once real estate starts to pull back, that's when I think we're going to start seeing. And another thing worth noting is there's absolutely no fear in the market right now. People are starting to get complacent. People are just buying every single dip. It doesn't even matter if it is a dip. They're just buying. And what happens when all of these people from the lows are up, 50% on SPY or 100% or 200% on these individual stock names? What's going to happen when fear comes around? And they're obviously going to want to lock in profit, but then you also have the people who just bought near the top who are going to be, feeling emotions and they're going to get scared. And I'm a little bit worried for people buying up here personally. And yeah, we'll have to see how it goes, but just make sure that you know what you're doing your own research, you're investing in companies that, can stand the test of time. There's bankruptcies are skyrocketing at the moment. So with that, one thing I'll leave you with is we want to see all major sectors trending down. So if we look at the technology sector, we look at S&P 500, SPY ETF, we want to see the financial sector, XLF, we want to see the healthcare sector, XLV. We want to see those all trending down simultaneously to have confidence that this is our temporary top and that we're going to start pulling back. How significantly we will have to see, but one thing I'm keeping my eye on is this RSI trend line on SPY on the monthly chart, and watching each individual sector to see if we can see some correlation and hints to those dropping. And if this stimulus bill does get passed, that's going to spark even more interest in Bitcoin, in gold, in silver, the hard assets that are out there, because in my opinion, they're just going to create even more inflation. They're going to print more money. It's going to create astronomical inflation numbers. The normal way for the Federal Reserve to combat high inflation is to raise interest rates. So that's another thing that we can keep, in the back of our mind, is that a way that the Fed may use a tool in their toolkit maybe to raise interest rates, which, we didn't really think was going to happen anytime soon, but that may leave them with, a last resort or no other choice. So again, just remain protective. All investments have risks. Do your own research. Make sure that you're investing in companies that you believe in and that can stand the test of time. I wouldn't go chasing these companies that, like airline industries, they still got a long ways to go, a lot to prove. So with that, again, if you like the content, subscribe to the channel. Join me on your pursuit of wealth. Check us out at powgroup.ca or pursuitofwealthgroup.com to find out more, and hope you have yourself a great rest of your day.